Hey guys, can you hear the audio all good? Hey guys, can you hear the audio? Yep, alright, cool. Just do it a second. Cool. Just trying out a new thing tonight too. It's called Restream. It streams to like a few different platforms at once. So if it's coming through funny, let me know. No. Hey Gerald, good to see you too, mate. Alright guys, yeah. The banks have closed my accounts. Got a letter from Commonwealth Bank saying, I'll read it out to you. The bank has made a commercial decision to close your account. The letter has been posted in the mail and blah, blah, blah. So I called them up. They knew nothing about it. I explained to them that I've been a Commonwealth Bank customer since '95. That's 27 years. And now they reckon they can just send me a letter saying, we're closing your account for commercial reasons, as in, we're not telling you why, we're just closing it. That's it. Can you guys remember the Dolomites? Those little funny little, I can't remember what they looked like now. I was a Dolomite kid, back in primary school. That's how long I've been with these guys. And they, after almost 3 decades, they just decide to kick you to the curb, close your accounts, and don't even have the decency to give you a reason. No reason. That was 2 days ago, I think it was. Today, we got a letter from the Bank West. We are closing all of your accounts, including your home loan. I find that funny. You can close my home loan. I've got no issues with that. So all the banks, they're closing my accounts. Again, no explanation, no reason given. So we're obviously doing something that to the government that the banks don't like. We're obviously doing things, we're obviously having an effect on the government. They're obviously worried and the banks don't like it. Now, some people might think, well, why would the banks care what's happening to the government? Well, it's because the banks are the government, aren't they? There's politicians you see up there talking shit. They're puppets and muppets. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way to the few politicians left in this country. And I mean that. There's only a few, maybe a little bit more than a few, maybe 5 or 6. You can count them on you can definitely count them on both hands, easily count them on both hands. The rest of them are puppets. They're having the strings pulled from behind the scenes. Who's doing the pulling? The bankers, guys. The banks have controlled this world for 300 years. They've controlled most governments in most countries for over 300 years. They're in a position of power currently, and they are now fulfilling their role as a one world government, and they're bringing it on hard. And we're starting to see this in many different ways now, guys. The closure of bank accounts, these food shortages starting to pop up in different countries. We saw what happened in Sri Lanka. Hundreds of thousands of Sri Lankans stormed the presidential palace and took it over. They didn't do that because they were bored. They did it because they had no food, they had no petrol, They were dying of starvation. They were dying and waiting for fuel. Literally, I mean this literally. They had no electricity, no heat. So what did they do? They got desperate. You know, they're already living in a third world country. It doesn't take much to tip them off, to tip them over. They held off as long as they could, and they had no other options. They stormed it. They wanted to get rid of the corruption in the government over there. Now, unfortunately, I've been speaking to some friends over there. What's happened is, this is what happens when you don't have organized groups. The people get pushed, the people rise up naturally and authentically, and they took over the government. However, when I say they took over the government, they physically entered a building. The prime minister went into exile. Other governments, agents went running because the people were pissed off. And there's a lot of people, and who has the power? Who has the real power? The people. And these suckers know that. So when push comes to shove, they're going to run. But what happens when they run? They leave a vacuum. You know, we've seen these vacuums in the Middle East when, you know, agencies like the CIA and Mossad create the terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda in a bid to rid the Middle East of the Russian power. So what happens when the Al-Qaeda beat Russia? Then there's a vacuum of terrorists now in the Middle East. It's the West that created the terrorists. That's what's going on. Getting a little bit off track. But what happened to the Sri Lankans? There was a vacuum, and of course, there was a group that slid in right at the end and took control. It's more corruption. It's another I guess you could call it another government agency group that has slid in at the right time and taken control of the country. It's just going to go back in another cycle now because there was no organised group to take the power when it was offered. You know, the bail-in laws that this country has brought in, by this country I mean Australia, the bail-in laws. This gives the bank power to take your money. This gives the bank power to take your money, your savings account. You could wake up tomorrow, your savings could be gone. So pretty much what I'm saying here is the Commonwealth Bank and Bankwest, they haven't thought this through properly. They're fucking with the wrong guy here. And, you know, this Dave O'Neill, same thing. They went after him. They're fucking with the wrong people. Put it this way, 1,000 people take their home loan somewhere else. That's $500 million overnight gone. 2,000 people, that's $1 billion gone. They're going to feel that. We don't have to sit here and take this. I'm already thinking of ways that we can make them feel the pain and make them know that they can't just push us around. And this is why we need to support each other, all that sort of stuff. But I won't go into details about those plans yet. All right, we'll keep that, but we'll work on that together, and we'll start doing these things together and make them know that, well, you can try and push a few of us around, but when we get down to it and we act as one, you can't, because we have the power. They're nothing without us. You know, Greece, we saw what happened in Greece. People woke up in the morning, they went to get the money out, they had no money in the bank, it was taken, it was gone. Overnight, they lost the money. Things are ramping up. The globalists, this one world government are here. They're starting to ramp things up now. What are we going to do? We're going to sit here now and take it? Or are we going to start getting active, start building things, start working on things, start empowering each other, start creating other systems to rely on? Because I'll tell you what, it's not just going to be my bank account that gets closed, guys. This is going to start happening more and more often. To anyone that thinks that they can stand up and tries to stand up, the government will come at them from different angles and try to shut them down. Look at them. They send the cops here all the time. The cops came to get my guns. They came to get my license. Now the council's coming for me. I've got 2 new charges. Got two more court cases against the Brisbane City Council now. Why? Because we went for a rally. We went for a peaceful public assembly in a public space, and they're charging me over it. So I'm not going to sit here and take that either. I'm going to take them to court over that too. That's to come. That's the next chapter. TPR Connect groups, guys. There's food shortages coming. There's electrical shortages coming. Fuel shortages coming. Rising interest rates. Property prices are going to start falling. Things are going to get tough, and they're going to do that to us on purpose. Why? Because when people are struggling, they're going to accept the new way, aren't they? And this is the new way. This is a new society they're bringing in, a new society built on the total control, the oppression, the surveillance of the people. This is what this is all about. How are you gonna sit by yourself and think you can survive by yourself? You're lying. You can't. We need each other. The people need to stand together. This is the only way we're going to get through this. I don't, they close my accounts. I don't care. This doesn't worry me. These guys are trying to make it hard for me. It doesn't make it hard for me. It makes things easier, because you know why? It puts the fire in my belly even more. I'm fucking burning on the inside. The fire's lit. It's been lit for a long time. The flame is getting brighter and bigger. And I'm sure more of you guys are starting to pick up on that in yourselves too. You're starting to get that I won't say desperation, but you're starting to feel that now's the time to stand up and start doing things. We've got a rally on Saturday. I want to see a massive crowd there. We need to see a massive crowd there. What's this rally about? What's the a lot of people say, what do the rallies do? They're useless. Well, you're wrong. They're not useless. They're actually vital. They're not going to win the war. I've never said that. And anyone that says or thinks that a rally is going to win the war for us, you're kidding yourself. It's not. But we will not win the war without the rallies. The rallies are vital to it. Why? Because the rallies build our morale. They raise our morale, team morale. Some people into that paddock and started crying afterwards, and they tell me these stories. Dozens of the exact same thing. The first time we walked to a TPR rally onto that, and we cried. Why? Because everyone together, everyone that has that same relation outside of the zombie apocalypse. There are more of us, and we're building that up, and we're working together. So the rallies, morale, they create momentum, keeping us engaged and active, and we're building a number. Without momentum, without our numbers building into a massive, we won't win any war. One war without those three things, and they're brilliant, because that's what it is. But it can't stop there. We have to work hard to pick up net groups, which are which is going to society. First, it's going to strengthen and empower our communities, and we're going to build self-reliant communities and which is going to eventually turn into a society, which further down the society. Why? Because people want to be able to live with peace and love and harmony, and not have to worry about oppression, blackmail, and coercion. In their one world system, one world government system, you'll be living to a certain level of comfort. You'll be comfortable if you submit to a vaccine every 3 months, if you submit to the millions of surveillance cameras with facial recognition technology, linking and tying you in to digital ID through the social credit system, where you have points, and if your points aren't up to a certain level, you can't catch the train, so you can't go to work, all that sort of stuff. This is what's coming, and I'm not trying to fearmonger here. I'm trying to get people prepared for what is coming. Many of us have known this for a long time. Many of us have known this for a long time, and now's the time to start getting things organised, guys. The very first time I spoke at King George Square in 2020, at the start of 2020, I made a point of telling people we have to start creating communities now. We have to start growing our own food and trading and bartering and becoming more self-sufficient. And people are doing it, but it hasn't happened on a large scale yet. So this is why for the last probably 6 months, I've been busting my ass behind the scenes with my team to create a structure and a platform that we will offer to the community for free to start building these communities up and empowering them. I want nothing else more than to see the future generations living in a world better than what we are living in now. Not a worse one, it has to be better. How are we going to get there? By committing to it, or making sacrifices. And this is a key word here, guys, sacrifice. You have to make sacrifices to better yourself, to better the people around you, to better the future. Without sacrifices, nothing's going to happen. I've said this so many times, I'm going to keep saying it. You have to make sacrifices. And that comes in all shapes and sizes. You know, and to the cops watching this video, this is what's happening. You see how I operate. You see what I'm about. You see that I do things in a non-violent fashion and within the constraints of the law. You see that all I'm trying to do is stand up for human rights and for our future generations. You see this, and I know you do. And now they're starting to close bank accounts on me, and other people are doing the same thing. How does it make you feel that you work for these people, that you take orders from these people? Because let's face it, guys, the police take orders from the government. They're not meant to, and some of them may not even know it, but they are so intertwined, it's not funny. And it's dangerous because the government can militarize the police and make them, you know, make them follow orders which are detrimental to communities. And that's what we're going to see. This is what this one world government is all about: militarizing the police, sending out their henchmen, and trying to squash any people that are exposing government corruption or standing up for human rights. That's not in their best interest. Anything that's going against their agenda, they're going to try and stop. And who are they going to get to do that? It's going to be the local police first. So that's a call to the police. Start thinking about things. Start thinking about things. Start thinking about things where they're heading, because it's going to happen fucking quick. And you need to be on our side when that does happen. Thinking about it is not enough. You need to be ready to start standing up for the people too, and say enough is enough now. I'm joining the people. You think about a war. Without a war, a conventional war, without soldiers, that war can't happen. You can't have two rulers who don't even care about their own people saying we're going to go to foreign lands and invade for minerals or for power or for land, whatever it is. You don't want two innocent men firing bullets at each other. They don't want to kill each other. They know they've both got families at home they love and they want to go see again. Put your fucking guns down. If you put your guns down, guess what? Those two dickheads sitting in the ivory towers have to fight themselves, fight each other. Do you think they're going to fight? No, they're cowards. They're beta. They're not alphas, they're betas. They sit there. This is the world right now, run by technocrats. This is the problem with the world. It's run by technocrats. They don't have any passion. They've got no love. They've got no courage. And this is why we're going to win this war. The people. You know what? You want to know why? Because we do everything better than them. We do everything better than them. Anything that involves human spirit, we do better than them because they have none. Anything that involves passion, we do better. Why? Because they have none. Think about it. The music we make is better than the music. They don't even make music. The jokes that we tell are better than the jokes they tell. The art we create is better than their bullshit digital art. They've got nothing on us. As soon as we work this out and come together, things are going to start happening in a really positive fashion for us. I'm excited about that. So I've been waiting my whole life for this to start happening, and now it is. And that's why I'm not worried. I get a bit emotional at times because it's monumental what's happening. And when you've had this feeling your whole life and it starts unfolding in front of your eyes. Yeah, I feel blessed, to be honest. So I don't want anyone out there worried or, feeling bad for me and all that. It's not like that. I've been set with this task and I'm taking it. And I knew the job was dangerous when I took it. So bring it on. My job is to get the people together, raise the spirits, and get people working together for our kids, nothing else, for our future generations. If everyone continuously pictures the eyes of the unborn, innocent eyes of the future generations, they cannot stop us. Stay focused on what we're doing. Believe that we win this war because we do. And we've got them. It's going to be hard work, sacrifice, commitment, and uncomfortable times to get there. But it's going to be better than the other option, which is becoming their slave. Their slave without a chain. I won't go too much into detail about what they've got planned anyway. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let's all turn up on Saturday in massive numbers. If it's raining, it'll be in the rain. If it's in the sun, it'll be in the sun. We're going to be there all together. We're going to hit those streets hard. Actually, this is cool. We've got a special march plan for Saturday, guys. We've got a special march plan. You know, we moved to, and you know, a lot of people say, why did we change to Musgrave Park? I'll tell you why we went to Musgrave Park. We went to Musgrave. We changed from Botanical Gardens to Musgrave Park because we physically outgrew Botanical Gardens. We got so big, people couldn't see or hear the stage. That's a good problem to have. So we scoped out, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and the only feasible option was Musgrave Park, and I think it was a great venue. I think it was awesome. However, the only downside to Musgrave Park is when we march around the south side of that river, there's not much action, is there? So what we're doing, we're going to leave Musgrave Park on Saturday. We're going to go across Victoria Bridge, and we're going to go back into the city. We're going to do our block around the city and march through there. Then we're going to come back over the bridge and head back into Musgrave Park and finish it off. So we're going to get both off. We're going to get the best of both worlds there, guys. We're going to have enough space to do our thing, turn the volume up, and have our rally. And then we're going to march as one, loud, proud, in the rain or in the sun. And we're going to go over that bridge back into the city and let people know that we're here and we're multiplying. And we're not going to stand down, setting off this bullshit. Because our kids are on the line. You think you're going to stop us when you're threatening our kids and their livelihoods? You're fucking no-ho. Sorry for the language, guys. I normally try and restrain myself, but tonight I don't really care, to be honest. I'm going to give myself a hall pass tonight and let some of those bombs out. So Saturday, guys, make sure you bring some people. If you're only half thinking about coming, I want you to come. I want to encourage you highly to come. Okay, we need to keep coming to these things. We need to keep building our numbers. We need to keep inviting more people down. And we need to get there. We need to support each other. All this, you know, all this little small talk, Tricky's doing that, man. Everybody's going to get over all this fabrication of lies and realize why we're all doing this. We're all in this for the same reason. Okay? People have called me that. I actually had a chat with a gentleman today that the last time I spoke to him, he actually dissed me online, called me out by my name, dissed me, gave me the middle finger on camera, and I chat with him today. It's all smooth. It's all smooth again. You know, and that's, you know, why? Because there was realization that we're fighting the same fight, and that we're better off as allies than we are as enemies. Because if we stay as enemies, guess what? Our enemy wins. As soon as we work out that we need to put our small differences aside, think about what that logo means, guys. You know what that logo is, right? The black and white, starting off separate because they're different. They overcome the differences. They overcome the perceived differences, and they come down to the middle and they unite. When they unite, they create the lion. The lion is the symbol of power and strength. The fingers are in the shape of the V. The V is for victory and peace. So when you forget your differences and come together, we create the lion, a powerful and strong unit. Through this powerful and strong unit, we'll achieve victory through peace. This is what everybody needs to remember and keep fighting for. All these small, niggly differences, all these people trying to cause division, need to pull their heads in and start fighting for the kids. That's what needs to happen. Midday, Musgrave Park, guys, South Brisbane, midday start. Some speeches, a big march. Oh, that's one thing though, guys. Since we are going back into the city for the march, it's going to be a long one. It's about 4.5 Ks. Our normal march is about 2.5 Ks, so it's about an extra 2 Ks, right? So I want to warn people of that. So, you know, if you're elderly or if your fitness isn't that great, if you've got a disability, I want to pre-warn you that it's going to be a big march. So either you can sit at Musgrave Park and wait, or you come on the march. If you think you can come on the march, come on the march. Or maybe you can just walk up to Victoria Bridge, which is on the south side of the river. You know, you can still walk up through Southbank with us and wait there. And we'll do our lap through the city and come back, pick you up, and you come back with us because we're going in a big loop around the city, come back the way we came. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. You can see Tammy Jane commenting away in the comments here. Hey, Tammy. Tammy Jane is a wonderful woman from Melbourne. She's coming up to Brisbane on Saturday for her first time to experience a TPR rally. So I'm excited to meet her again and give her a hug when I see her and get her on stage for a chat to you guys and introduce her to all the Queenslanders that haven't met her yet. What time? Banana. Banana says, hey, banana. Midday start. Sue's gonna hold the fort down at the park, and look after things. Thank you, Sue. I'll give a, what's the time, 8:17. I'll stay on for a few minutes. If there's any questions or anything you guys want me to answer, I'll stay around for a while and answer it. And then I'm going to go and get some stuff done. Thank you, Trish. It's if you speak from the heart, it all comes out in the right way, doesn't it? If you speak the truth, you've got nothing to hide. You can speak for a long time without coming unstuck. And I'll speak the truth more than anyone else can talk shit for or lie for. Upgrade to anti-WEF, I like that. Anti-World Economic Forum. Hey guys, and if you're coming on Saturday, make sure you make some placards. All right, check out the, I don't have a poster here. Check out the poster that we made, which is all about, you know, the food shortages coming. Biohubs. A lot of people haven't heard about these things yet. Biohubs, B-I-O, hubs, H-U-B-S. Their plan, and now this is why the vegan movement starts making sense now. I remember thinking there's something not quite right with the vegan movement, and this is not to hit the vegans. If you want to eat, if you want to be a vegan, go for it. I'm happy for you to do that. If you want to be a vegetarian, I'm happy for you to do that. If you want to eat meat, I'm happy for you to do that. Except in terms of meat, the best thing to be doing really is hunting that animal, a wild animal on the side of a hill, you know. Pray for it, take its life, give thanks, clean it, take it home and feed your family with you know, with the goodness in your heart of that sacrifice that's been made. But unfortunately, that's when you buy meat from the supermarket, that's not what's happening. And they're pumped full of antibiotics and hormones and all sorts of nasty stuff. So really, if you're going to eat meat, you should be hunting it. Anyway, back to what I was saying, biohubs. They are taking out the meat industry. They're crushing the farms, they're crushing the farmers, and they're going to crush the meat industry. Why? Because they want to feed us insects. Literally, they're going to feed us insects, guys. Biohubs are the creation of these farms. We're going to be farming insects. They're going to be creating insect protein to feed us with under the guise of sustainability. Okay? Sustainability is the key that they are using to convince people to go along with detrimental laws, detrimental outcomes, detrimental methods that they are going to be employing on the people with as minimal resistance as they can do it. And that's why they're going to be using this whole sustainability clause. And this is why the greenies and the lefties are so for it, because they've been fooled. But I don't like calling people lefties because, you know, some of us are lefties, some of us are righties, some of us are centrists. It doesn't matter. We're all, I think we can all agree on the common purpose here, and that's we want the future to have an element of freedom in it, so we can live in peace, love, and courage. Back to the biohubs. I'll keep getting bloody sidetracked, guys. Biohubs, creation of a sustainable food supply, but who owns this food supply? Them. So when you control the food supply and you convince everybody else to get rid of the traditional food suppliers, and now you own the food suppliers, you're in control, aren't you? So if we proceed into the future with no foresight and with no self-sufficiency, or becoming self-reliant, and we rely on them for their food, they own us, they control us. This is why it's so important that everybody starts understanding that we can no longer rely on them or their system. We have to start creating ulterior methods. We have to ban, and we can't do this by ourselves. In the West, families split up very quickly, don't they? We live far apart, and we leave each other behind. We go to our job, we make money, we come home, and that's it. A lot of the Eastern cultures stay grouped. The grandparents live with the parents and look after the grandkids. You know, they all stay tight. The families stay tight. They share wealth. They share properties. They share their assets. In the West, it's very different, and they've done that for a reason. Now the West has infiltrated these ancient cultures and done the same thing to them. So we need to be careful, guys. We need to really start treating each other with more love and treat each other with more respect and treat each other as brothers and sisters. And this is why I use this language. This is why I've been using this language from day one. You know, brothers and sisters, we're family. You know, and I'll tell you that I love you because I do. You're my fellow humans. How can I feel any different? We're on the same planet together. You know, it takes a whole village to raise a kid. I wanna feel like I love you people, so you can look after my kids and I can trust you to look after them. And they're going to do the right things for me and my family, and for your family, and for our family, and for the future generation families. This is what this is about. We have to get over this greed and this concept of consumerism, materialism, because that's what we worship now, right? They don't teach us about spiritualism. They don't teach us about a higher consciousness. It could be God to you, or Allah, or the universe, or the energy, or the oneness, whatever you want to refer to it as. They don't teach us about that. Why? Because they know that if we unlock the secrets of that spiritualism, then we'll quickly work out that they've tricked us into worshipping materialism and consumerism. And then if we do that, we go to work, we leave our family and friends behind willingly to make cash so we can buy the gold chain and the faster car and the oversized house we don't need, you know? And then we get to 80, we spend a whole life working for money because we thought we needed it to buy things which we didn't need. And then we work it out, it's too late. We've got 4 years of ill health and we're dead. They've got us working for this well-oiled machine. We need to wake up now and start doing it together, guys. Alrighty, I'm going to have a quick read through these comments and then probably get going. Got a lot of stuff to do to prepare for Saturday. As always, it's always hectic the week leading up to it. One of these guys says, poisoning us ever since they found out we were powerful beings. Well, they've known we were powerful beings from the start. In fact, these guys are enlightened beings. They've seen things that the majority of the population haven't seen. They've just chosen to serve the dark side. And that's why they hold back and restrict these things from us. You know, these plants like ayahuasca and all these plants that tribes in the Amazon have been using for, 50,000, 100,000 years for spiritual enlightenment, that unlock the mind's eye and allow you to connect spiritually. They don't want you to know that, because if you know that, then you're less likely to buy all the bullshit and go along with their plan. They are definitely enlightened beings, and this is definitely a spiritual law. You hear a lot of people say it. I'm unsure of a lot of people that say it actually understand how, in fact, important that it is that we understand that this is a spiritual law, dark versus light, God versus devil, call it what you want. This is what this is. We're fighting this on a physical realm, but it's an out of this world war. It really is. Fluoride in the water to calcify the third eye, perfect. Terror is right. That's exactly what it is. You calcify the pineal gland, and that restricts your ability to connect spiritually. What's in the jabs? The same sort of stuff. And unfortunately for them, like Maria is saying, the veil is lifting. The veil is lifting as a whole conscious level throughout the world now. It's the mass awakening, and it's happening very quickly. This is why Agenda 2030. I don't think Agenda 2030 no longer exists. I think they brought it forward. I think it might be Agenda 2025 or Agenda 2026. I think they brought it forward because they know their time is running out. They're panicking. Like I said, the Sri Lankans, hundreds of thousands of Sri Lankans took over their government buildings. The Dutch farmers, hundreds of thousands of them are rallying together, blocking off highways, spraying poo all over government buildings. Things are happening in Germany and France. That Japanese ex-prime minister got assassinated. I'm not saying that whether that's good or bad. Well, it's obviously not good. We don't want to see any life loss, do we? But I'm not saying that. There's a story behind it anyway. Put it that way. Things are happening. This is why I'm a bit disappointed in Australia at the moment, because on this Saturday was going to be a worldwide rally. I'm disappointed in the world actually, because the international worldwide rally team decided to pull the pin at the last minute on this so-called worldwide rally and concentrate on a bigger one in September. A lot of these Australian organisers and leaders have decided to pull the pin on their rally as well, so there's only a few places doing it. I'm sitting here looking around at the world going, man, the revolution is pumping harder than it has ever pumped since the start of 2020, and people are becoming complacent and sitting back. We should be pushing harder, guys. Get your act together. Guys, cool. We're just reading through some of the comments there. Hope to see many of you on Saturday. If it's raining, bring even more people. The last rally we had was in the rain, and the march was awesome. Ask anybody that turned up, and that was a massive rally. I saw some drone footage of the last rally in the rain, and there was heaps of people. It was great, man. Like the atmosphere was pumping hard. We got some guest speakers this time again. Obviously, I'll do. I was going to do a post on that tonight, but I've done this instead. So I'll either do it later tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll let you know who's speaking on Saturday. Like I said, guys, now's the time to stick together. Always stay positive. If you're in a dark place and bad things keep happening, look to the future. Think positively. Find a workaround for those bad things that are happening. Look for the lessons that you can learn in that, and keep pushing forward. That's what this is about. Learning from your mistakes, learning from other mistakes, and finding the positives and keep going. That's how we're going to better ourselves. We must stop the NWO, says Thomas Mayberry. I do agree. All right, guys. And yeah, actually, one more thing before I go, because somebody just brought it up. GG, come join the TPR Connect groups. TPR Connect, guys, jump on the website, www.thepeoplesrevolution.com.au. Click on events on the little arrow, I think it is, and click on TPR Connect. There's 9 different groups. Sign up to any of those groups that interest you. If you perceive yourself as somebody that would be a good coordinator of those groups, also mark that box. We're going to have a seminar in the next few weeks for those coordinators, and then we're going to launch these groups properly. Like I said, these TPR Connect groups are the way forward, guys. I'm so sure of it, but it's going to take everybody to get involved, to be committed to it, and put time and sacrifice into these groups, and then we're going to start creating these pockets of resistance and these pockets of empowered communities, and then more people are going to want to jump in it because they're going to see us having success, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to blow up, and we are going to be the future. And this is what needs to happen, guys. So we're going to launch them very soon. Make sure you get involved. Cash is king. This is another thing, guys. Do not use your key card ever. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Use a key card at the ATM, withdraw cash, and then buy everything with cash. Everything you can use cash. Every Western takes cash. I haven't been knocked back using cash anywhere. Okay, not once. They probably do exist here and there, but the vast majority of places still take cash. Now, for multiple reasons. One is they're trying to make us a cashless society. If we all keep using cash, it may not stop it, but it certainly will delay many, a long time. And any delays in what their plan is gives us more time to regroup and come up with different strategies. That's important. Second thing is, if you're using cash, they know where you're going and what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're doing anything. If you're living by the law, that's fine. It doesn't matter. They're going to keep tracking you when you use your key card. You're giving them information. They use that information. They create your social credit score. One night they're going to turn it on. They've already scored you. Why? Because you've been playing into the game the whole time. Use cash. Otherwise, you're using their system. And that ties in with the surveillance cameras and your score. And they'll be able to control you and limit you. But look, they use the banks. Well, the banks use them, I should be saying. So guys, use cash. Get out, $1,000, $2,000 at a time, and buy everything with cash. And obviously going forward, we're going to have to think of other ways instead of cash, because the cash is still based on their system. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, guys. A lot of work. Kelly Myers said she got knocked back today at Noosa house shop. So they walked out. I'm assuming she got knocked back trying to use cash. So if that is the truth, Noosa house shop, I think you just got a lot of loss of customers yourself. All right, guys, I better get going. Hey, I've got a lot of stuff to do. So thank you for your time tonight. I'm hoping to see you all bright-eyed and pumped up on Saturday for another awesome day in Brisbane. I can't wait to get that feeling back, sitting there with you guys and sharing in that energy that we create together on that day. So I love you all. We'll talk on Saturday. If I can work out how to live end this thing, I don't know how to end it. Yeah, all right, cheers.